Welcome to Cyphus, where I talk about my passions: video games, military service, my fellow veterans, Star Wars, and Mandalorians. I love everything Mandalorian, can't you tell? Tune in every week to see what games I'm playing and what sets my heart ablaze in the moment. And who knows, maybe one day you too can appear on the show. This channel proudly supports #22Kill, a non-profit charity aimed at creating a community that raises awareness and combats suicide by empowering veterans, first responders, and their families through traditional and non-traditional therapies. This channel also supports the royalty-free music of Alexander Hoff, David Fowl, and Dark Cabin Studios. This is Cyphus Space. No apologies, no excuses, no bullshit.
Alright, what's going on YouTube? Jarek Cyphus, aka Cigar and Con here. It's Friday afternoon. It's been kind of a long week, and normally I do this from the comfort of my car. But, well, let's just say it's a hot day, and when you get temperature hot on your phone, you kind of take care of your electronics. So that's what I'm doing today. I want to get right into a couple things real fast. I want to clarify a statement that I made earlier in the week when I was talking about don't plan on leaving if you're gonna invade my property. Let me clarify that a little bit. By no means was that like a final statement kind of thing. You know, it's you come in my yard, you're probably gonna be held at gunpoint, or I'm gonna bring my dogs and a gun to hold you at gunpoint until the police arrive. Kind of like with what just recently happened with an off-duty firefighter at Walmart, when some idiot decided to put on assault gear with a weapon and tote a cart around Walmart, recording himself like a fucking moron. So that's the kind of outcome that I'm expecting. Worst case scenario is you leave the yard in a body bag. Don't put me in that position. I don't ever want to be in that position. I don't know anybody with a sane mind who would want to be in that position. So, you know what? Let's try to avoid that, shall we? And while Walmart is kind of on the mind, I'm sure y'all have seen by now that they, in their infinite wisdom, elected to pull displays of violent video games from their stores. Displays that in no way show anybody getting mowed down, shot, whatever. Do they represent violent video games? Yes. Are they as graphic or as representative of an actual situation as the demos that are being played on demo PS4s and Xboxes? Nope. If devil's advocate here, they went with the nuclear option. They took down the displays and they shut down the demos. They should have stopped at just the demos. I get it. In my opinion, they're not appropriate for Walmart anyway. Kids don't need to be seeing that walking through a store, especially in El Paso. I mean, let's be sensitive to the victims here, and in some way, shape, or form, all of El Paso is a victim right now because those that didn't lose their lives are wounded emotionally, and believe me, I know what that's like to lose people to violence. It sucks. It's never good. It hurts, and anything that reminds you of that loss is painful. So yeah, by all means, if it's contained to like El Paso and places where shootings have recently taken place, by all means, be sensitive to the victims and take all that stuff down in the short term, and then slowly work back in there. But correct me if I'm wrong, YouTube, but I believe there's supposed to be some kind of contractual obligations for certain advertisements to remain in place. It's okay to take the demos down, but I'm pretty sure you have to keep certain displays up to advertise what you're selling. I could be wrong on that, but I could have sworn I've read somewhere that there's contractual obligations. I mean, because just look at what GameStop has to do, for example. But you didn't have to go with the nuclear option. At the very least, yes, take down the demos of the violent video games because they're inappropriate to begin with. So, but as far as the displays, you know, you got Call of Duty Black Ops, which is the words on a black background, or you have in other Call of Duties some stoic-looking soldier behind an emo, smoky background. That's not depicting violence. It's not depicting anyone getting mowed down. We don't need to worry about that. That's not really, if people don't know what that game is anyway, it's not going to affect them one way or the other. Staying on the subject of violence in video games and the alleged correlation between violence in video games and these mass shootings, well, you know, obviously we can look at the charts that say otherwise because it's a heaping, steaming pile of bullshit being pumped into our brains by the Republicans who want to win a second term through fear. Not going to happen. Not playing it. Not buying it. The freaking stats say otherwise. I mean, you have Japan and Korea lead us in video games revenue, and in Southeast Asia in 2018, you had the number one game was PUBG, and behind that you have games like Overwatch. The South Korean teams play Overwatch. They all have gunplay. All these games have gun violence, gunplay, things like that in it. And if you look at the comparison, there's only one outlier here that has a problem. And I don't want to get into attacking the Second Amendment because I am conservative. I am constitutionally conservative. I'm socially liberal, but I'm constitutionally conservative. And that's the only thing you're going to hear about my politics around here. I support gun rights, and I do believe that it's an inalienable right, long day, to bear arms. And I don't think that should be taken away, especially lightly. Now, did our founding fathers count on us having like 30 to 100 round magazines? No. Common sense gun laws need to happen. I agree with that. We don't need to be going out there and yeehawing in our backyard shooting 1,000,000 rounds at a fucking steel target. That's what they have gun ranges for, okay? I mean, it's recreationally controlled for that kind of outlet. It's not for the privacy of your own home. The privacy of your own home is where you store your arms for home defense or against the tyranny of either domestic or foreign powers. That's what the Second Amendment protects, not your right to go out there and go on a shooting spree on anything or anyone that you like. That's just not how that works. And that's all I want to talk about on that front. Moving on to streaming in general. So I'm sure everyone's aware by now that Ninja has moved on to Mixer, which is Microsoft's competitive platform to Twitch. And with that, there's been a bit of a windfall, I guess, kind of, sort of. There's nobody really going to be going up into that 15 million viewers slot because you have some folks like, I think I wrote down TFUE, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, Myth, Booga. You have those three folks are getting like 5 to 6 million. I think TFUE had like 7 million at one point. So you got that many followers, cool, that's great. Keep the viewers coming. As they kind of creep up, though, since they're not going to take all the 15 million viewers that Ninja had, I get the feeling that this is going to be an opportunity for small streamers to come up. So by no means don't get it in your head that you're going to be the next Ninja and be the next epic streamer. If you are, great, embrace the grind, be the next successful streamer that makes news and makes millions, cool. But for those of us recreational streamers who kind of want to do it also as a side hustle like me, by all means, take advantage of this little bit of a windfall that's happening and climb up the ladder a little bit. Just kind of inch your way up and see what bites. Try and get some more viewers. This is a good opportunity to kind of solidify your brand and kind of unify your whole idea, your whole vision into one concept, and then be consistent. That's something I'm going to strive to do, is try and stick with the Tuesday, Thursdays I did before, and have backup days, Fridays and Sundays, like I'm doing tonight. I didn't stream last night, just wasn't feeling up for it, so I'm streaming tonight, Friday, Star Wars Galaxies. Moving into the Star Wars Galaxies front, I want to welcome GTR Drifter, a co-worker, good buddy of mine. I was actually a groomsman in my wedding. Brought him into Star Wars Galaxies. He has come back to the dark side. He's playing a 16-year-old game with a lot of us, so we're going to get him leveled up this weekend. Speaking of which, Star Wars Galaxies Legends is having a double XP weekend, so check that out if you can. If you've been gone for a while and you took a break and you want to come back and you have a tune to level, do it. If you got friends you want to bring in, this is a good opportunity to get them started, get them new to the game. If they're returning after being a veteran of Star Wars Galaxies when it was live, bring them back to the game. It's a freaking great opportunity to kind of engage with the community that loves Star Wars and is very passionate about the open world experience that we all have. And speaking of Star Wars Galaxies, moving on with that, yes, we're going to do a stream tonight. It will be starting at 7 p.m. Eastern at the latest. I may start earlier, but it will go until at least 9 p.m. And going down the road with the ILM I'm working on, I want to kind of make an announcement. I have discussed this a little bit with staff, but it's going to be the actual final decision is going to be news to kind of everybody. ILM 2.5, codenamed Aurora, is going to be internally tested only. I have a select few group of very close friends I trust that won't leak the work out to others. It's going to be kind of a progressive to ILM 3.0 kind of project, so it'll start with 2.5 and it'll incrementally add features until we have a perfectly flawless, stable ILM 3.0, which will be coming out sometime around after episode 9 comes out, maybe at the very, very beginning of 2020. But my goal is the holidays so that everyone can have one final ILM to really enjoy and bite into. This will be standalone, so we will be I'll work this out with the team, but we're going to be getting rid of the existing ILM files, and I am going to be releasing ILM 3, if all goes well, open source. And only because with how much that goes into ILM itself, the TRES files that they're featured in aren't... That's good to encrypt our work, yes, but I've identified that it's not the most stable. I've been experimenting with for a couple months using just original TRE file versions of ILM, and I've not had any crashes. So I know that's part of the problem. It's not that the encryption is bad, it just doesn't work well with ILM. And since I'm going to be doing enough advertisement of my work, enough previews, there's going to be lots of videos on YouTube of different incremental stages of this ILM development going to 3.0. It'll be enough of that to know that it is my work. If you steal it, you steal it. People are going to call you out for it. It's whatever. You know, and ILM 3.0 is going to be not just a tribute to my work, it's going to be the tribute to everybody that was on ModSource back in the day, Wethy, Caveman, ANAC, all the guys and gals that worked together really hard to make a gazillion freaking great mods. This is going to be the culmination of that, as well as all the work that I've done with Legends, and I can't wait to share it with all of you. So stream consistency, like I was talking about earlier. Tuesday, I'm going to be probably mainly doing Star Trek Online. Thursday, we'll rotate between Final Fantasy 14, War Thunder, used to be Thunder Thursdays for that, and a little bit of Star Wars Galaxies. Now, if I get a bonus third day, usually Sundays, to stream, that will be almost always Star Wars Galaxies. So anytime I stream on Sundays, count on being Star Wars Galaxies. Next week, I want to go over a couple other things. We're gonna obviously this story about gun violence in video games isn't going to go away, so I'm going to keep talking about that. I also want to talk about the Submato guy from who's been following Borderlands 3, who had private investigators sent to his house. I want to cover that story a little bit. We don't have all the complete facts yet. There's the Quartering and Young Yahoo who've already covered it. I know a couple other folks have. Layman Gaming have already done it too, and I'm gonna follow up more on that later. I want to get some more complete information because I think that was kind of a despicable overstep by Randy Pitchford and his crew to do that, and it has really kind of hurt my interest in buying Borderlands 3 until they retract it and say, hey, maybe we overstepped. Yeah, we own the fact that we weren't responsible. We didn't do enough to secure our Twitch channel, and these thumbnails got out. That's all he really did. He hacked thumbnails and leaked that information. It's not a big deal. If there's more, then you know what? It's on the onus. The burden of proof is on 2K Games and those folks to kind of come forward and say, hey, no, this was actually what happened. This is what Submato actually did. And if they want to elaborate on that, cool. If they're being quiet because of legal action, then okay, just say we are taking legal action against this person, and then we'll leave it alone. That's not our business at that point. Once it's in legal hands, that's it. That's where the buck stops. So, that's all I really have for this week. I'm gonna go back to doing one video a week next week, so it'll be every Friday. I'm gonna try and make sure the video gets out, and we'll cover some more information on what we're gonna do. I want to talk a little bit about my fall stream season. It's gonna be a lot of games. I wouldn't say a lot of games in it per se, but it'll be a lot of gaming and a lot of consistently one title until I finish. Mostly because y'all get to see me punish myself and pull a Michael Jones from Rooster Teeth and rage quit a little bit. So it'll be for everyone's entertainment. Probably drink a little bit too, so it's even more fun. But thank you all for your support. As always, leave a like, leave a sub, and support me on Patreon if you can, because every little bit helps make this channel and the content better. With that, I'll see y'all next time. Jarek Cyphus signing out.